Women's dress, burka, hijab, chador, and leggings. As with many things in Pakistan, the clothing worn by Muslim women can be a point of controversy and contention, but for most it is a symbol of faith and devotion. Let's discuss the different types of clothing, the reasons behind and symbolism of veiling, and the associated controversies related to women's clothing. LDS people believe in modesty and outward symbols of an inner commitment, and we incorporate that belief into the things we wear. Muslims are much the same. In an effort to remain chaste, humble, modest, and devout, Muslim women often choose to or are compelled to cover or veil their heads and bodies when in public or in view of male non-family members. There are varying degrees to which this is carried out and items of clothing that achieve that desired look. This mostly is dependent upon one's family traditions, tribe, geographical location, and personal devotion. Let's talk a little bit about the clothing. The most commonly worn headscarf is a hijab. The hijab is a square scarf that covers the head and neck but leaves the face clear. Taking things up a notch is the al-amara, which is a two-piece veil. It consists of a close-fitting cap and an accompanying tube-like scarf. The shayla is a long rectangular scarf wrapped around the head and tucked or pinned in place at the shoulders. Those requiring even more modesty would wear the khimar, which is a long cape-like veil that hangs down to just above the waist. It covers the hair, neck, and shoulders completely, but leaves the face clear. The chador is a full-body cloak. It is often accompanied by a smaller headscarf underneath. At the farthest end of the spectrum is the niqab. The niqab is a veil for the face that leaves the area around the eyes clear, but may be worn with a separate eye veil. It is worn with an accompanying headscarf. The burka is the most concealing of all Islamic veils. It covers the entire face and body, leaving just a mesh screen to see through. For clothing to be considered Islamic, it has to meet certain conditions. Clothes should completely cover the body, head, neck, forearms, and ears. Clothing should not bring attention or be glossy or decorated. It should hide body contours, and clothes should not smell of perfume. Men's and women's clothing should differ in style and cut. Modest swimwear is also available in full cover. Muslim women choose to cover for many reasons. Some believe that God has instructed women to wear a veil or cover as a means of fulfilling His commandment for modesty. This begins after puberty and reflects the woman's devotion to her Creator. Some women do not believe that covering is obligatory to their faith, but wear the cover to express their Muslim or cultural identity. There are some women who choose not to cover at all. Although the principles of modesty are clearly outlined in the Quran, they perceive the wearing of the headscarf as a cultural interpretation of these scriptures, and that the values of virtue and modesty espoused by wearing the headscarf can be achieved in other ways. Many Muslim and Arab women who have chosen not to cover are staunch advocates of a woman's right to choose to veil. Veiling can be controversial and is even banned in some countries as it is seen as a security risk and a cultural division. For instance, you can't do any facial recognition on someone in a burqa. France first controversially banned the burqa and the niqab for women in public in 2011. Other countries such as Belgium, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Chad, and Italy have followed suit. In Pakistan, more modern clothing for women can be seen creeping in, mostly in the big cities. Jeans are even becoming popular. Covering the legs is a must. You will almost never see a short skirt or a low-cut top in Pakistan. Not all fashion is symbolic or religious. There is a thriving fashion scene in Pakistan, with several fashion designers making their mark on Pakistani fashion. Women's clothing is still modest, but can be much flashier and more ornate than traditional clothes. Some women prefer to wear a sari for formal events. The fabric and ornamentation is beautiful and very ornate. As oppression against women decreases, I believe we will see even more of an increase in the westernization in women's clothing in Pakistan. No matter what, we can see that clothing matters a great deal to Pakistani women as symbols of their faith, their family, and their personal style as a Pakistani. Thank you.